When you're a YouTuber, the quality of content is everything. And when you're a mountain bike YouTuber, having smooth, stabilized footage and great audio is key to making sure your channel does well. Today I'll be reviewing the cheapest wearable gimbal I could find, coming up right after this. So I bought this gimbal for $70 on Amazon. However, right now they are unavailable, but you can still find them on various sites for around $90. The GoPro Hero 7 does a great job of filming without the use of a gimbal, but since I don't own a 7, I still need to rely on a gimbal to get buttery smooth footage. Now in the past, I would use a handheld cell phone gimbal modified for use on the trail. Now, as you can imagine, for light trail riding, this would be perfectly fine. However, not only is it clunky, it's rather dangerous. To get it all to fit properly took some work, and although the footage is usually good with this setup, it tends to not stay in place. A lot of people use chin-mounted camera with a full-face helmet, and although I like the footage from that, I just get too hot with the full face on at the moment. So since starting the channel, I've been wanting a wearable gimbal, and it seems like weekly I'm always looking for one, and finally I saw the Yi, and it was in an attainable price range. Now this gimbal is not waterproof like the Evos, but I've heard some stories about how true that statement is. But for most of my riding, I think it will do a fine job. Unboxing the Yi gimbal was a rather pleasant Apple-esque type experience. I'm actually quite surprised about the quality of the materials that were used. Initial impressions on the first touch, it feels like a quality product. It moves freely like most good quality gimbals and seems fairly light. But remember, I'm used to the gimbal the size of a football, so take that as you will. The batteries are removable and use a standalone charger to keep charged. Now there is a USB port on the side of the gimbal, but supposedly this is only for firmware updates on the gimbal itself. So I removed the battery door and immediately wasn't too impressed with the tiny screw that holds the door in place. I understand this is a fairly cheap gimbal, but would a captive screw be too much to ask for? I have a feeling this will be lost eventually. The batteries themselves seem to be good quality, but are a little tricky to get in. Now the bottom of the gimbal itself uses a 1/4 inch standard mounting screw, so you'll need to find a 1/4 inch adapter to attach it to your chesty. Another thing that was kind of a downer is the bracket that holds the camera in place doesn't fit the newer body GoPros, but this is easily fixed with a Velcro strap, and maybe I can figure out how to make a newer bracket that will work. Now as far as the weight goes, of course this is a million times better than what I was using, but it weighs 210 grams without camera, while the Evo weighs about 180 grams. And the Evo gimbal is also more compact. However, I don't have one to show you side by side, so I'm just going off the specs. The nice thing though, if you get a Yi gimbal to supplement your shooting with another angle, they both use the same 18350 rechargeable batteries. There was a couple times when the gimbal got a little wonky, like it didn't know which way was straight. However, I did have an OTB moment with it and it seemed to catch it just fine. I took it for a ride on my local black line and it did a great job of stabilizing the footage. Here's it next to the GoPro 5 using the onboard stabilization. Now it is a little slow when it comes to panning left and right, and sometimes it gets a little wonky when jumping to flat, but it's a vast improvement over what I used to run. Now here are the pros and cons. Pros are it's cheap, it's fairly small and easy to run a chest mount on, and batteries are the same as the Evo. The cons are it doesn't pan as fast as an Evo. Who knows how much longer it will be around. Heavier and bigger than the Evo, and the bracket doesn't fit newer style GoPros. Now, gimbals are slowly starting to fade away with the release of the DJI Osmo Action and the GoPro 7 Black. But if you use an older GoPro or have a clone, which by the way does fit using the bracket, this gimbal is certainly a great buy. We will see how the long-term reliability of it is in the coming months, but so far I'm very pleased. Hopefully you enjoyed my review of the Yi Wearable Gimbal, and if you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and you can see how a bigger guy progresses in the sport of mountain biking. So sorry I haven't been posting any updates lately. Been kind of busy getting our kids ready for the first day of school, and also the house ready for a new addition to the Fat Guy Biking family. I want to introduce everybody to Kion. He's the golden retriever. Kion, come here, bud. Okay. So we'll be seeing more of this little guy here. He's a little dirty right now because he was just digging around in the dirt, but hopefully we'll make him a trail dog. And remember, it's not about the lemons life gives you, it's about the lemonade that you make with it. Bye. I see you. I see you.